Earlier we were discussing cooling curves, how the cooling takes place. Cooling of what? Cooling of a melt of a particular composition. So that shows a simple two component diagram here, where this is the melting point of one component, that is the melting point of the another component. There is a steep decrease in the melting point of this component by the addition of second, and there is also a decrease in the melting point of the first component by the addition of the second, where C becomes the eutectic point here, that is the eutectic point. Now suppose we are having a particular composition here that belongs to this A. When it is being cooled, up to the time the temperature reaches to the point corresponding B, this temperature is more than the melting point of the either component. So this means at this temperature whole of the mixture will be present in the molten state. When we will cool it, then it cools smoothly up to the point V. Cooling means by cooling there is a sharp decrease in the temperature. As we reach to the point V, solid V separates out from the melt, and the path followed is this one up to the time when composition corresponding to the eutectic point has been formed. So this path makes the separation of B, so there is a bond formation between the atoms of B. That is why cooling and heating goes continuously, simultaneously you can say, because bond formation releases some energy. That is why a path just like this way, that is obtained from point B up to the point C, that is the point C, and that is the point V. At C, whole of the mixture solidifies, so temperature remains constant up to some time by cooling, because here B as well as A both solidifies. Then again there will be a sharp cooling in the solid. So that is the cooling of the mixture from the particular composition, A composition. Now suppose we are having the composition as per the D. Then D is toward the A, it means maximum A is there and minimum B is there. So that means when we will cool it, then from D to the E point there will be a sharp cooling curve. So again we are getting this type of a sharp cooling curve from the D to the point E. As we reach to the point A, separation of A starts and the composition shift to the point C, and separation of the A continues up to the time that composition belongs to the eutectic point. So here solidification of A releases heat. Again there is a curve for the cooling. At point C, again it is the A that becomes solid, B that becomes solid, so solidification starts. So for some time the temperature remains constant, and again there is a sharp cooling in the system is there. So this type of curve that is obtained for the cooling. Now suppose we want to cool a composition which belongs to this particular composition. See here, it is right over the head of the eutectic point. As you will cool, nothing will separate out until the point C is reached. So there is a sharp decrease in the temperature up to the time we are reaching to the point C. At C, what happens? Solidification of A and B simultaneously starts. So there becomes a parallel line to the x-axis, because temperature remains constant while the both A and B solidifies. When solidification has been ended, again there will be a sharp fall in the temperature. So that is the curve when we are having cooling to the particular composition to the eutectic point. Let us discuss some of the here examples regarding the two component system. So before moving to that, some definitions are here. What is the eutectic point? Eutectic point means it is easily melting, that is termed as the eutectic. Congruent melting point. Whatever I have discussed yet, that is a system where two metals are there, they are melted, but one metal is not going to react with the another metal, or it is chemically unreactive system. There may be a case when one metal in the molten state reacts with the another metal to form a compound, and that compound is having fixed melting point, and that compound is stable up to its melting point. So when a component is formed due to the mixing of two other components that do not decompose before melting, then we say it is the compound that is having congruent melting point. Example is, when magnesium is mixed with the zinc, then MgZn2, that compound is formed. This compound is stable up to its melting point. So whatever is the composition is in the liquid state, MgZn2 is there, same composition in the solid state is there. That is why we will say that this reactive system is having a congruent melting point. A case may be there that we are having a system which reacts to form a compound, but that compound is not stable up to its melting point. Then we say that the compound is having incongruent melting point. For example, sodium chloride and water system. Sodium chloride forms a compound with the water NaCl2H2O. That compound is not stable up to its melting point. So we will say this is a reactive system, but the compound formed is not having the congruent melting point, or we will say it is incongruent melting point. So three parts are here: eutectic, easily melting; congruent melting point, compound formed is stable up to its melting point; and incongruent, compound formed is not stable up to its melting point. So let us discuss a system where there is no reaction between the two components is there, and the best example is the bismuth cadmium system. Best example is the lead and silver system. Lead silver system you have read in your BSc classes, that is why I am not going to discuss that. So a bismuth cadmium system, let us discuss how we can explain the various here terms in the bismuth cadmium system. So I will start from the one end here, you have to start. So 271 degrees Celsius, it is the melting point of the bismuth, because bismuth is 100% here. See here at the bottom, bismuth, it is 100%. So this means here it is the bismuth line. Here cadmium, it is the 100%. So melting point of cadmium is 321 degrees Celsius. Both are having eutectic point at 144 degree Celsius. How you will start here? As I start from the K point, I will say that is the melting point of pure bismuth. As I move away from here, then composition of bismuth will change, because there is a successive addition of cadmium is there. Because these point, bismuth 100%, here bismuth 80%, cadmium 20, bismuth 60%, cadmium 40, here bismuth 40%, cadmium 60, here bismuth 20%, cadmium 80, and here cadmium is 100%. So in this way composition changes. So as you will start from the point K, so we will say the melting point of bismuth will decrease by the successive addition of the cadmium. It continue to decrease up to the point 144 degrees Celsius. So we are having a composition. That composition is here, it is 20, it is 40, it is 60, it is 80. So it means it is 60% cadmium is bismuth is there. So 60% you can say it is bismuth, and it is cadmium, that is the 40% composition. This composition is having the minimum melting point 144 degrees Celsius. Now we reach to the point M. Now how to start it from the point O? We will say that is the melting point of the cadmium. it is 321 degrees Celsius. As you are moving inner side, then you are adding bismuth to the cadmium. So by the addition of bismuth to the cadmium, there is a sharp decrease in the melting point of the cadmium, and it falls from 321 degrees Celsius to 144 degrees Celsius. That is the eutectic point. Below this line, which line? It is L to N line. Below this line, bismuth and cadmium, they are present in the solid state. The area K, M and L, here melt and bismuth is there. Below this line, bismuth is present in the solid state as well as melt is there. Melt means it is the molten bismuth plus molten cadmium. Here in the region MON, there is molten material plus cadmium is there. And in the region KMO, above the KMO, it is whole the molten liquid is there. You can discuss the various points with the help of the phase rule equation. Only I am going to figure out a few of them, not all. Let us say what is present in this portion. It is melt, bismuth and cadmium. So it is only component C, that is equal to 2 phases. It is single phase. Which phase? It is whole of the material that is present as a liquid. So F is equal to, it is C minus P plus 1. As you will substitute here, 2 component system, minus 2 plus 1. Sorry, 2 component system. So here you fill the 2. Phase is 1 plus 1. So F is equal to 2. It means it is Y variant. Here we are having the 2 phases. One as the melt, another as the solid. So it means 2 minus 2 plus 1. It is monovariant. In this region again we are having the 2 phases. It means it is again monovariant. Eutectic point. Here we are having the 3 phases. One is the melt, another is the solid bismuth, another is the solid cadmium. काउंटिंग में तो दो बार आएंगे, लेकिन आपने सिंगल टाइम ही उनको काउंट करना है. सो here phases becomes 3. So F will be equal to 2 minus 3 plus 1, that is equal to 0. So that means a non-variant system. So this is a very simple example that tells about the 2 component system and the discussion of the how their melting point varies. What happens actually? One component has the higher melting point, another component has the lower melting point. We reach to a eutectic point that is very much near to that component which is having the low melting point. So in this here 321, that is for the cadmium, 271, that is for the bismuth. So we are having a composition here that is more near toward the bismuth. So 144 degrees Celsius, that becomes the eutectic point. Let us discuss further some more examples here. This is a system that is potassium iodide and water. So if you start from the one end here, not discussing whole of the material here, this side it is 0 degrees Celsius. You know that is the melting point of your freezing point of the water. There is a sharp decrease in the freezing point of the water up to the point V. So this decrease is there up to the point V. How it is being decreased? Because potassium iodide concentration here, see below, it is going to increase toward this side. So as you add potassium iodide to the water, the melting point or the freezing points indirectly of the water, that decreases sharply. It decreases up to the point V, and that decrease is up to minus 22 degrees Celsius. How much it is? Minus 22 degrees Celsius. That is the cryoscopic point where we are having the minimum melting point for the water, or we are able to decrease the melting point of the water by the addition of the potassium iodide. So this enables us to form freezing mixtures. How to make the freezing mixture. As you have seen outside in the fair, ice cream maker is having salt plus ice, so that is going to decrease the melting point of the ice by the addition of the salt. In the same manner here, potassium iodide that is being added to the ice and its freezing point decreases up to the minus 22 degree Celsius. So here in this portion we are having ice because one of the solid component is there, plus we are having unsaturated solution of the potassium iodide. So potassium iodide solution is there as well as ice is there. So it contains two phases here. One is the solid ice, another is the solution of potassium iodide. As we reach to the point V, separation of Ki start in this region. So potassium iodide start forming in this region. So successive addition of the potassium iodide, it causes separation of the potassium iodide from the saturated solution of the potassium iodide in water. इससे पहले जो पॉइंट था B पॉइंट से पहले सारा का सारा सॉल्यूशन जो वो अनसैचुरेटेड आएगा. But as we are increasing the potassium iodide concentration after B, then we are having here separation of potassium iodide. It means B is the saturation point. ये पॉइंट पे जो है वो पोटाशियम आयोडाइड की वाटर में क्या हो चुकी है, सेचुरेशन हो चुकी है. What is this composition? This composition contains 52% potassium iodide and 48% water. So that composition is having the freezing point minus 22 degree Celsius. Then there is a steep rise in the curve here from this point to the that point. So what we will say here, potassium iodide dissolve very less now in the solution. तो जैसे जैसे आप पोटाशियम आयोडाइड ऐड करते जाओगे Ki की सेपरेशन जो वो कंटिन्यू होती जाएगी. Up to where this graph will lead? This graph will lead up to the melting point of potassium iodide. That is very much higher. So that is why this portion of this line is incomplete here. इस लाइन को यहां से आगे जो वो incomplete हो रहा है. Otherwise it will be a very steep rise further and the graph will be very larger or it will be out of the limits. So not going to discuss that part here. Potassium iodide it continue to separate out. If we are having this saturated solution of potassium iodide and cool it, then what will happen? Why the cooling potassium iodide will separate? Why the heating potassium iodide will pass into the solution? So as we increase the temperature, there is a dissociation of more and more potassium iodide in the water. As we decrease the temperature, but go on increasing the concentration of Ki in solution, then there is a separation of potassium iodide or precipitation of potassium iodide is there from the saturated solution of the Ki in water. Let us discuss one by one the different degrees of freedom. At point D, so that is the point D, as mixture solution is cooled, D ice makes its appearance along the line AB. So ये जो लाइन AB है इसमें जो है यहाँ पर आइस जो है वो क्या बंद होता जाएगा, सॉरी along the line DB, D से लेके B तक जो है वो आइस अपनी अपीयरेंस जो वो शो करता जाएगा. F that is equal to component 2, phases 2, one as the ice, another as the solution of Ki, unsaturated solution. So 2 minus 2 plus 1 degrees of freedom 1, it is the monovariant system. Then at point B, that is the eutectic point. Here this side it is solution is there, this side solution, this side it is solution, this side solution plus ice, this side it is potassium iodide plus solution, this side solid potassium iodide, solid ice. So we are having each component twice, only single time if they are taken, then it is 2 minus phases 3. One is solid Ki, another is the ice, another is the solution. Then degrees of freedom becomes equal to the 0. So it means it is non-variant system. It is the non-variant system. If vapor phase is considered, you know whenever we have discussed this reduced phase of equation, then we have excluded that pressure component. But when vapor phase is being considered, then vapors will be also present. So one phase will be vapor phase, and the degrees of this one part that was only T, now it changes into T as well as T, so it becomes 2. Again the degrees of freedom that becomes equal to 0. So the point B, that is the non-variant part here. Now minimum temperature that can be attained here, it is minus 22 degrees Celsius. What is the composition here? It is 52% potassium iodide and 48% water is there. Then melting point of that system becomes minus 22 degrees Celsius. So this study helps us in leading to cryoscopy. Cryoscopy means low melting point chemistry. So in the lab we can have a temperature of minus 80 degrees Celsius with the help of the chemicals. Otherwise, you know, that much temperature is very much, that is not possible. But minus 80 degrees Celsius can be obtained from a mixture of the ether and the ice. From the mixture of ether and the ice. So that helps us in studying the cryoscopy or low temperature chemistry with the help of the phase rule. Now from line B to E, it is the B, that is the point B, it is the point E. So potassium iodide continues to be soluble and can reach 100% soluble, but if saturated solution is cooled, temperature becomes low, then in this region Ki will separate out. So it means potassium iodide separation is there. So degrees of freedom will be component 2, phases 2, it becomes the monovariant part. Area below ABC, that line is ABC line. Here solid potassium iodide and solid ice is there. So it means component 2, phases 2, that is plus 1, that is equal to 1. So it is again a monovariant part. So that is the simple discussion where non-reactive systems are there. Means we are having the two component, but none of the component is going to react with each other to form a compound that is having either congruent melting point or incongruent melting point. There are certain examples like sodium chloride and water that forms the congruent or incongruent melting point, that we will discuss in the next lecture.